deep meditation and feeling of existence. When the meditation deepens, you experience endless flow of energy, the cosmic force, and infinite ocean around you. And you are just a wave. Wave has a beginning and it has an end. An ocean is always is without a beginning, without an end. This is the nature of the existence. One day, on the surface of the ocean of life, you came into existence as one of the myriad waves. Wave comes and goes, but ocean remains. And once you know that you are not the wave, but the ocean, your presence is oceanic, all misery disappears. Misery is there because you identify yourself with the wave. What is deep down your misery? Deep down there is death. You are afraid of some end which is going to be there. It is absolutely certain the wave will arise on the surface of the ocean. It will move towards the shore, strike the shore, and will disappear, will vanish. It is absolutely certain. Nothing is so certain as death. The fear, the trembling. Whatsoever you do, you are helpless, and nothing can be done for it. Death is going to be there, and that goes on and on inside the conscious and unconscious mind. Sometimes it erupts in the conscious mind, and you become afraid of death. You try to push it down, then it moves to the unconscious and continues there. Every moment you are afraid of the death and end. Mind is a wave on the surface of the ocean of life. Comes like a wave. A thought comes like a wave. You see the waves arising on the surface of the ocean, on the surface of the river. So each thought, and during the day, if you look at it constantly, thoughts are waving on the surface of the ocean. And it comes, it rises, moves towards the shore, strikes the shore and dies. This is your fear, this is your misery. Mind is going to die to reach the state of no-mindedness. You are not going to die, but you don't know yourself. You have not been acquainted. Your only acquaintance with yourself is through the wave, a thought. You know something which is just a created thing. It has a beginning. A thought has a beginning and it has an end. Your only acquaintance with yourself is that of a thought. It is going to have an end. That which begins must end. A thought begins, comes, and then it must end. If you can find within your being something which never begins, which was in the beginning, which is now, and which will remain in the end, which simply is, which cannot end, then fear of death disappears. And when fear disappears, love flows through you, not before. If you look deep within, you were aspiring for love, but there was fear. There was a wave-like existence. Your existence was a wave-like. Although you were aspiring for love, but it never happened. How can you love when you are going to be die, when there is going to be death? You can cling to someone but cannot love, and this clinging we consider as love. You can use someone but you cannot love, and this is what happens. Husband loves wife, wife loves husband. They cling to each other for certain reasons. You can exploit someone, but that does not mean love. Love is not possible as long as fear is there. Fear poisons, is the poison. Love cannot blossom with fear deep within. If you are experiencing love now, overflowing like the fragrance of the bean, it means the fear is disappearing. Slowly and slowly, fear is disappearing. Everyone is going to die. Everyone is standing in a queue, waiting for the moment of death to arrive. How can you love? Everything seems to be nonsense. Love appears nonsense if death is there, because death will destroy everything. Even love is not eternal. Whatsoever you do for your beloved, for your lover, you cannot do anything because you cannot avoid death. It is just waiting behind everything. You can forget it. You can create a false face. You can go on believing that it is not going to be there, but your belief is just superficial. Deep down you know it is going to be there. And if death is there, then life is meaningless. You can create artificial meanings in life, but that will not help much or take you far. Temporarily, for some moments, they can help you, and again the reality erupts, and then the meaning is lost. So we keep on getting temporary moments of happiness. You can just deceive yourself continuously, and that is all that, and this is what we have been doing all along. Unless you come to know something which is beginningless and endless, that which is beyond death, there is something that never dies and never born, that is in the beginning, that is now, and that will be in the end. Once you come to know it, only then love is possible. Because then there is no death, love is possible. Buddha loves you, Jesus loves you, but that love is absolutely unknown to you. You are not familiar with the love of a Buddha, with love of Jesus. You are only familiar with the temporary moments of love that comes from your spouse, from your lover or beloved. That love has come because the love of Jesus, the love of Buddha, the love of awakened one has come because in his company, in his presence, within his energy field, fear is disappearing. And your love is just a mechanism to avoid the fear. So, whenever you love, there comes a feeling of fearlessness. Someone gives you a strength, it gives you tremendous energy, and as an overflow of that energy, you experience moments of love. And this is a mutual phenomenon. You give strength to someone, and someone else gives strength to you. Both are weak. Both are seeking someone, and then two weak persons meet and they can help each other to be strong. This is just wonderful. How does it happen? It is just a make-believe. You feel that someone is there behind you, with you, always with you, but you know no one can be with you in the moments of death. And if someone can be with you in death, how can he or she with you in life? Then it is just postponing, just avoiding death. And because you are afraid and so afraid, then you need someone to make you fearless. When you feel this fearlessness out of your own, on your own, then something happens. It is said somewhere, Emerson has written that even the greatest warrior is coward before his wife. Even Napoleon is a coward because his wife knows that he needs her strength. He needs her in order to be himself. The moment it comes that you do not need the master to be yourself, you are yourself on your own without his or her presence. You are fulfilled within. When Napoleon needs her in order to be himself, he depends on her. When he comes back from the war, from the fighting, he is trembling, he is afraid, he rests in her, he relaxes in her. She consoles him, he becomes just like a child. Every husband is a child before his wife, and the wife, she depends on her husband. She lives through him. She cannot live without him. She is his life and he is her life. In the beginning, when you came in within the energy field of the awakened one, you were dependent on him. Or slowly and slowly things begin to change. Now your happiness is not because of him or his presence. It began that way because of the catalyst, the catalytic action of manganese dioxide. The two molecules of hydrogen and oxygen interacted with one another. The presence of manganese dioxide remained the same as it. Nothing was taken, it's just presence was necessary for this interaction to happen. And now water is obtained. And along with that, you get nascent oxygen. When this begins to happen to you, and it begins to happen, it has already started, that this presence surrounds you and it is not dependent on the physical. So, as such as you are, or what happened between Napoleon and his wife, that happens between the two lover and beloved spouses, is mutual deception. Both are afraid. Death is hanging around. They both try to love each other and forget death. Lovers become or appear to be fearless. Lovers even sometimes can face death very fearlessly, but that is just an appearance. Our love that we experience, we exhibit on a day-to-day basis is just fear. Just to escape from it, real love happens when there is no fear. Fear of losing this. When death has disappeared, there is no fear of losing him. You are afraid of losing your beloved or lover to someone else. When this fear disappears, that means you are not dependent on him or her for your own happiness. There is a subtle presence that remains like a catalyst. When you know that death has disappeared, when you know you never begin and you will never going to end, don't think it. It has to be have a feeling. You can think it, and because of the fear, you think, yes, I know I am not going to die. I am not going to end. And there is no death. The soul is immortal. We had been conditioned to believe that we are soul and soul is immortal. But have you experienced the immortality of the soul? It happens as the meditation deepens. You can think about the fear, and that will not help in any way. If you move deep in meditation, meditation deepens. The process of introspection begins deep within, like churning. So the nectar surfaces and it will happen. Fear will disappear, and as your meditation is deepening, you will realize that slowly and slowly fear is disappearing. You have become, once you were dependent on this one, on this spouse, now you are not dependent. The fear has begun to disappear. It will disappear because you know yourself endlessly, and that happens in a state of deep meditation. As meditation deepens, you come to taste your own self. You go on spreading endlessly, back into the past, forward into the future, and this very moment, in the depth of it, you are there. You simply are. Just as during the various stages of life, once you existed as a baby, then you existed as a boy, as a teenager, as an adult, as a grown up, as an old, and this continues. It is not like a linear movement, linear process, it is circular. You never begin, you never end. Feel this infinitely deep within you. And once you begin to feel a totally different kind of experience you have, you come to realize something deep within that never dies, never comes to an end. That was in the beginning, that is, and that will always be enough for now.